Good morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching. Today I'd like to discuss my internship at Brooks Rehabilitation Center located in the NRC, where I'll be working on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and at the YMCA's Physical Rehabilitation Program, which is partnered with Brooks, where I'll be on Tuesdays only for half days, of course, to get my hours. Our client base consists primarily of individuals undergoing physical rehabilitation. This includes people recovering from surgeries, injuries, and chronic conditions, either due to genetic or ongoing illness. They range in age from young adults to seniors, with one individual being 13, and they all come from various socioeconomic backgrounds. Many of our clients face not only physical challenges, but also emotional and psychological hurdles as they navigate their recovery journeys. There are several stereotypes associated with our clients. For instance, some people might assume that those dealing with a disability concerning their ability to move cannot be independent. And while in some instances they need a bit of a push and have caretakers, many of our clientele are very independent and can help themselves into their routine machinery, whether it be our bikes or the arm which deals with arm movement. Sometimes you even have to be careful with how much you're hovering or doing things for them because while you are trying to help, it is somewhat insulting as they have been living with the disability longer than you've been at the center. So most of them are very much so capable. Additionally, due to many of their disabilities, such as being paraplegic from the waist down or within the arms, or having a deformity due to a genetic disorder or accident, there is the stereotype that those suffering from a neurological disorder are just plain frail. This stereotype is often paired with the first stereotype that I mentioned. Sometimes interns or people overall are too afraid to move or touch people with a certain disability as if they are just a porcelain doll. But honestly, many of them can take a bit of a twisting and a turning, so as long as you're not trying to bully them or hurt them, they're perfectly fine. Of course, you have the occasional person that needs to be treated like a glass person, but the rest will straight up just tell you like they cannot feel a single thing and they don't mind it either. Some will often encourage you to even put a little strength into it just to get the job done. They got places to be and things to do. These stereotypes can significantly affect how our clients are viewed by others, including family members, friends, and even healthcare providers. Understanding these stereotypes is crucial because they can impact how clients interact with others, um, and with us as like interns. Clients who are aware of these stereotypes might feel stigmatized or misunderstood, leading them to withdraw or become less engaged in their rehabilitation. They might also develop a lack of trust in the care that they receive or feel the need to constantly prove themselves. I feel like to avoid these stereotypes, I and other individuals honestly just need to realize that these people are human. They're stronger as they're as strong as any other, regardless of what they're conditioned with. It is still important to ask if they're comfortable and to be cautious, but don't treat them like babies. We also need to practice verstehen. Hopefully I'm saying it right. It's something that I learned in sociology. We're all familiar with the word, or we're all familiar with what it means usually. And it's basically to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I honestly wouldn't feel that grand if my life was turned upside down and now I have like a neuro disability and now everyone is treating me like I can't do anything or that I'm incapable of being stronger or independent. Imagine going from a person who was just like everyone else only to be somewhat infantized. That would be incredibly uncomfortable and honestly in my perspective like I would feel less than. Furthermore, in reflecting on my own assumptions and implicit biases, I have identified a few that could potentially affect my experience, or maybe have actually affected my experience. For example, some of the patients have communication issues due to their condition. I see that I am more willing to speak with those who can effectively communicate rather than those whose speech is impeded. Uh, this is more because I'm afraid to cause frustration or translate something incorrectly, so I want to stick with something I'm familiar with. Unfortunately, because I am more willing to communicate with those who speak clearly, I do not provide similar effective care to other patients. I noticed this yesterday when I was with a patient that couldn't speak clearly um, because she had a disconnect between her brain and her mouth, on top of her being paraplegic. Um, so I was kind of like afraid to actually communicate with her, and I kind of was a little quiet and a little awkward during our interaction. Um, and honestly, that wasn't really fair to her. I should have tried to learn how to speak with her rather than just avoid her due to the barrier. That goes along with other patients as well. If I can if I assist and speak with others who have that disconnect, I can actually learn how to communicate with them over time. Another bias that I believe that I may have is that I am more willing to stay and speak with those who are in my intern groups rather than the patients themselves. This is because I feel like I have more in common with them. Like they're young adults, they're in college, and we like similar things. Um, and also at the same time, we're not bound to a disability or illness. However, I'm keeping myself in a familiarity bubble, impeding on my ability to get to know the patients and learn who they are and build a relationship with them. While I'm learning more about my group mates and getting to understand some valuable information regarding classes, graduate schools, interests, etc., I'm not really creating very many relationships with the patients. I should want to know their names, hear their knowledge, and expose myself to different personality types on top of how their conditions affect them. I actually made friends with an old man named Joel, who I love talking to. He always gets people to laugh, and he has such fun stories to tell. Luther's also an old man. Um, he is super motivational and he's just an amazing teacher overall. And I met Miss Maxine at the YMCA rehabilitation program, and she's so inspirational, and honestly she's incredibly like thankful and deserving of so many things. She's such a sweet soul. But overall, what I'm saying is I should branch out more and talk to patients if they let me. I shouldn't confine myself to what I know and who I'm more similar to. Even in psychology, not knowing how to make patient clinician relationships with a diverse array of people may hinder my ability to provide effective care and may strain certain treatment tactics that I wish to use. Overall, here's my plan. I want to engage in more consistent self reflection. Doing this assignment helps me become more aware and mindful of my biases and any potential stereotypes I may be going off of. Reflection would also ensure that I'm not letting my negative judgment impact my professional behavior. I also want to strive and build strong empathetic relationships with each client, treating them as individuals with unique stories and potential rather than members of a stereotype group. Doing research on neurological disabled groups would also help my plan as well. If I continue to hear from other accounts and strive to listen and understand what they're going through and what they are capable of, I'll have a grander outlook on those I'm working with. By taking these steps, I aim to create a supportive and inclusive environment where all clients feel valued and empowered to achieve their rehabilitation goals. I'm committed to using this practicum and internship opportunity to grow both professionally and personally, ensuring that my interactions are guided by respect, understanding, and genuine desire to help each client succeed. Thank you for listening.